In front of us, there are two pictures. The picture on the left is Lando Norris retiring in Austria after battling with Max Verstappen for a few laps. They collided. Max had a puncture, ended up finishing sixth, still ahead of Perez. And Lando Norris had some terminal issues and he had to retire. The picture on the right is Max Verstappen on the podium, the third step of the podium in the United States, after Lando was awarded a 5-second time penalty for overtaking Max off the track. In this video, let's see why that is the case and why Max Verstappen seems to always best Lando Norris. And I will also discuss what Lando needs to do to beat Max and finally become a world champion. Let's first focus on Max Verstappen's advantages. He has three distinct advantages. The first one is his father, Jos Verstappen, and his methods of training Max through his karting days and, leaving him at the petrol station and stabbing a mechanic in front of him and all that type of stuff. It seems to work very, very well because Max Verstappen is performing. Next is Helmut Marko, and Helmut Marko supports Max Verstappen fully. If Max is wanted by the police for manslaughter, this guy will give him shelter. Up next, we have his understanding of FIA. The FIA's regulations, how the FIA works, how penalties are dished out, which is unsportsmanlike conduct and which is not. And he can use that to his advantage to comfortably operate in the gray area. When Max is racing other people, his objective is to take it in the gray area and let things sort itself out. Because if he takes things into the gray area, he is comfortable there. His opponent is not. So they're going to make mistakes, or they're far more likely to make mistakes if they continue to remain in the gray area for longer and longer periods of time. I think the FIA also is little bit lenient towards Max compared to other drivers. And again, he stayed in the gray area for long enough, and Lando got frustrated, and they had a collision, and they came together. It is what it is, and the reason is because, again, it goes back to Jos Verstappen. Whenever someone is about to overtake Lando, he gets the PTSD flashbacks of being left at the petrol station and stuff like that. So it inspires him to perform better. The bonus advantage that Max has was Sergio Perez, who was hired to support Max Verstappen in his championship-winning endeavors. That's why Red Bull wanted a number 2 driver. They wanted a guy who doesn't challenge Max, but, in the mix, on the podium, P1, P2, P1, P3, something like that, 20 seconds behind Max Verstappen. That's the teammate Red Bull wanted, and Sergio Perez is not even that. If you compare this picture with Lando Norris's advantages chart, you will find that his teammate is not that shit. He doesn't understand the FIA that well, or the FIA is also not necessarily that lenient towards him. The team is split between who to support. Only recently they stated that explicitly they will start supporting Lando in his championship-winning endeavors. And he certainly doesn't have, the childhood experience in dangerous conditions that would propel him to outperform himself. All of them can be fixed by addressing one problem that Lando Norris has. The picture already suggests the problem. I was so mad when Lando did this. I mean, of course, Daniel Ricciardo also did that, but he's out of Formula 1, so we're not talking about him. Why did you do that? This picture is going to be on the internet forever. One day you're going to have children and they will see you in a crop top behaving like a douche for James Corden. Unbelievable. You did that for James Corden. So anyway, I can prove this actually. A lot of people say, well, this is just, you are taking things too far. No. I'll show you that Lando Norris, he has no fight left in him. He doesn't have a fight in him, to be honest. Not left in him. It left in him means he actually had some fight in the beginning, but he clearly doesn't. And I will give you an example right now. In front of you, in this picture, Lando is wearing a watch. 3 of the Formula One drivers on current grid had their watches stolen, or 3 that I know of. One of them is Lando Norris. Let's see how he handled that situation when the robbery transpired. So he was in London, typical UK things, and he had his watch stolen and he was put in a headlock. I will drop the link to this article in the description below. You can go check it out. They put him in a headlock, they gave him a noogie, and they took his watch. Up next, we have Charles Leclerc. He chased them in a Ferrari, his Ferrari, leading to a confrontation in a parking lot where one of the criminals threatened him with a knife before escaping. Sounds badass. Someone took your watch, you chase them in your car, you tried your best, but they have a knife. Always run away. Always let them escape if they have a knife, because if they tag you, you're dead. He has some fight left in him. Carlos Sainz gave chase on foot with the help of a passerby. Thanks to his determination, the robbers were apprehended and the watch was swiftly returned to his right. He chased after the thieves and got it back. What a kick at you had. Compare that to Lando Norris. I mean, they put him in a headlock, dude. They definitely gave him a noogie. Look at his hairstyle. They definitely gave him a noogie. It is what it is. And he needs to fix this problem. Once he fixes that problem, his spirit to fight back, his will to win, his desire to become a little bit heel, Machiavellian, if you may, it will increase, right? He needs to tip that scale toward the right. And there are 2 things he needs to do. Number 1, train with the UFC heavyweight champion, Tom Aspinall. He is the heavyweight champion. And he will train him so hard, like he doesn't even need to do 1 full training camp. Just spend a week with him. He's going to fuck you up. Uphill runs, sparring sessions. Do everything with him. Wrestle with this guy. I mean, obviously not this guy, but someone from his team. I'm pretty sure Tom Aspinall will allow Lando Norris to rediscover his British masculinity. Next, he needs to go to Vegas and fuck some hoes. This is a very important step of doing whatever you're doing. I don't know, if Lando is in a relationship, he should definitely go on a break for the next 2 months or something. The winter arc begins now. The only 2 things you're allowed to do is, apart from Formula 1 driving, is train MMA and fuck some hoes. You need professional help, Lando, and these 2 are the best professionals in their respective fields in making men feel like men or be men. These 2 professionals will help you become a man. So, we need to take Soy Lando, which is the Lando Norris of today, and turn him into James Hunt. Because James Hunt was also a champion, and this is one of my favorite pictures of him. Anyway, I couldn't find a zoomed in picture. It is what it is. He's on the top step of the podium, racing overalls, 2 honeys around him, 3 honeys around him, holding the bottle of champagne, probably is thinking about which drugs he will do next. People taking pictures of him. That's what a Formula 1 driver is. And that's what you need to be like if you want to win the championship. If you're wearing crop tops, glitter, fucking hell. If you're doing that for James Corden, regardless of how much money he pays you or, how many ever Instagram likes he gets you, this is just a little bit bullshit. So, in conclusion, Max Verstappen has too many strengths that Lando Norris doesn't, such as a shitty teammate, a deeper understanding of FIA rulebook, a very supporting team leadership, and childhood trauma. He doesn't have any of those. So what he needs to do is he needs to go to Tom Aspinall and Vegas. The real wants to know what her name is. She was in the Piers Morgan show. Anyway, so Lando Norris needs to take the help of these 2 professionals who will help him become a man. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Like and subscribe.